Hi there, Stan, the Annuity Man. Annuity Man Live. Welcome to the event. So glad you joined us. We have a ton of people online. If you've not done this before, the way it works is I stay online as long as you ask questions. So the second there's a lull, we're out of here. No, I'm kidding. I'm really not kidding. But I'm glad that you joined us. Pretty good topic today. But really, the floor is yours. Um, I'm going to answer the questions one by one, factually and brutally, as I always do, and then we're going to cover some other topics as well. Just a little bit of a soapbox here. Today's topic is about maximizing income in these volatile times, etc. Obviously, annuities were put on the planet for lifetime income. You can go to my site, producer. Just pull up my site. You can go to my site if you're not familiar with this. You can run. There's the producer. You saw her face. If you hit that middle thing, use the calculators. You can hit the calculator button and go to all of our calculators. SPIA, QLAC, we're the only ones on the planet with an income rider calculator. You can run reverse engineer quotes, lump sum quotes, etc. 24/7, 365. No one's going to call you. You can go to the live rates, pull up a live rate feed real quick. This is our Miga feed. Right now, the most popular thing on the planet, and we'll discuss that. But you can put in your state, filter your state, and then choose a state, and then California, and there's let's do 5 years, and there it is. Okay, so and it'll list all of the specifics there. So we have everything for you from quoting all carriers, looking for the highest contractual guarantee. If you haven't gotten the books, we're on our last run of books. We printed the last round, never to be printed again because the consultants say it costs too much, and they don't like the gold foil mailers that I send them in, and so, this is it. If you haven't gotten the books, you better get them. And just, free, no obligation. We ship them to you via your UPS shipping address. And I would encourage you to schedule a call with me as well, or one of my associates. Most of the time, well, not most of the time now, but majority of the time, you're going to get me. We're adding people to the mothership here in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's where I'm today. Typically, I'm in the Florida office, but now I'm spending a little bit more time in Las Vegas, which is great. That's where our main office is. Let's talk about retirement income and kind of where we are right now in the annuity space. There are 4 different types of annuities that provide lifetime income. In other words, as long as you're breathing: single premium immediate annuities, deferred income annuities, qualified longevity annuity contracts, and income riders attached to either variable or index. We only do fixed, so we don't sell the variable. And the reason also, too, is the riders attached to the index annuities are typically higher contractually. And those are lifetime incomes. People say, what's the ROI? I don't know that until you die. Those are lock and load type products, okay? So as long as you're breathing, they're going to pay you. But we're at a point in time now, as we all know, with interest rates rising, that there is a possibility that you don't have to annuitize, or you don't have to buy a package product, or you don't have to lock in. You can actually buy a Miga, which is the annuity industry version of a CD, and just peel off the interest and never touch the principal. Hello. So when you talk to me, I'm going to ask you 2 questions. What do you want the money to contractually do? And when do you want those contractual guarantees to start? And if you say, I need income, and you say, I need it now, I'm going to say, okay, tell me the gap. And if we can solve for that gap that you need by never touching the principal and just peeling off the interest, then that's what we're going to do. Meaning that I talked to a person the other day and I said, hey, here's the thing. If we need to buy an immediate annuity and annuitize for lifetime income, we will, but it's a last resort at this point. Let me give you an example. No one knows where interest rates are going to go. But let's just say they go way back down. We might not be able to peel off interest from MIGAs to create the lifetime income stream, which means they might force our hand to buy an immediate annuity at that time. But let's talk about interest rates, because everyone's like, well, the Fed's this and that, and everyone's an interest rate analyst. Let me go through once again how the annuity companies look at the Fed and Mr. Powell, Ms. Yellen, whoever's in charge at that point in time. If you look at a stool, think of a stool that you sit on. There's 5 legs of that stool. Okay. One of those legs, the Fed, they look at the Fed but it doesn't, it's only one of the 5. The other ones are life insurance companies. They issue annuities. So they have lifetime income guarantee products like SPIAs, DIAs, and QLACs, and income riders that are profit centers that they look at. the actual life insurance. And, remember, annuity company, life insurance companies know when we're going to die. So that's the reason they have the big buildings. Okay. Then they have legacy bond portfolios, and I call them like Jimmy Carter bonds and Barack Obama bonds and George Bush bonds. They got bonds in there that are profit centers as well. But and those are the four. So, going back, you got, and I'm gonna do the fifth one. I'm saving the fifth one for last. So you got the Fed and what everyone's fixated on. It. They shouldn't be, because it's such a small portion at this point in time. Then you have life insurance products, you have lifetime income products, you have legacy bond portfolios. But here's the one that everyone needs to think to realize that exists and really drives a lot of the pricing is capacity. And what I mean by that, life insurance companies that issue annuities, they have specific levels of premium that they're trying to raise when they issue a product, whether it's a Miga or SPIA. There's tranches, for lack of a better phrase. And once they hit that, and they don't tell us what it is, but once they hit that, they'll lower interest rates. Give you an example. Last time Mr. Powell raised rates, we had a couple of companies actually lower rates that same week. And you're like, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. It does. It's not linear. So if Powell, at the time of this taping and this show, if Mr. Powell raises rates in September, that doesn't mean automatically that annuity companies, life insurance companies that issue annuities, are going to follow that linear and just statically. It's not. Some will, some won't. Some will lower. So it depends on the capacity at this point in time. And with 10,000 to 11,000 baby boomers hitting age 65 every single day, that's a demographic tidal wave of money and premium. Premium in Southern means dollars. That's coming in. So put yourself in the life insurance company's seat for a second, and you're the CEO of XYZ life insurance company that issue annuities, whether it's Migas or whatever, SPIAs, whatever. And so much money is coming in. Would you raise interest rates if Powell raised it? I mean, if you're bringing in enough money, you're hitting your goals from the standpoint of the tranches and the capacity levels, there's no incentive. So does that mean when Powell raises rates, some companies might break out and raise interest rate? Yes. And that's the reason I always say annuities are commodity products and that you have to shop all carriers for the highest contractual guarantees. Okay. But some will, some won't. But it's not like, well, the Fed's going to raise rates, so I'm going to wait. You can't time it. And for a lot of people that were waiting for the Fed to raise rates in September, they've seen rates in the MIGA space actually go down. So enough about that. We've got tons of questions. And the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to read the question. I'm going to answer it. If it's not answerable, I won't bluff. So, by the way, no tax questions, if you don't mind. We're not CPAs or tax lawyers. Those are the only people that can legally do that. And the other thing, too, we are here in the mothership office, and it's a big one in Las Vegas, Nevada. Love Las Vegas. But we are going through some glitches from the standpoint of just setup. So if it does freeze, it's not like I'm dancing, at the disco. Just hang in there with us. All right. So first question, put it up. It's from Daryl. Hello, Stan. Chester. Chester's my fictitious person that I always say, well, Chester says this. Okay, Chester. Why can't I just call up the company? For example, he gives Ocean Views, a MIGA company we represent, everybody else, and just buy a Miga direct from them without having to go through a licensed agent like you, Stan the Annuity Man. Very good question. At this point in time, just the legal requirements to buy an annuity, there has to be a licensed agent in the middle from a suitability standpoint, appropriateness standpoint, just to make sure that you're not putting too much money in. It's appropriate. You're solving it for the contractual goals. I do think in the future, and I don't know what future means, I would probably say, my director of operations is probably going to disagree with me on this, but 5 to 7 years, I think there's a possibility of it going to more of a direct model. I hope it does. The way that I'm building my company is for that day. For that day that you can buy it direct, we're going to have that portal where you can just get all the information, get all of the videos and the education, and then be able to buy it direct. Now, the evil secret in the annuity business is that if the annuity companies could get rid of the agents, they would in a second, because the agent army is nothing more than a liability from a sales standpoint and how they present products. If you've ever been to a bad chicken dinner seminar, let me just tell you something. If the CEO of that company was sitting in the bad chicken dinner seminar of a lot of these people that are fraudulently pitching, say, indexed annuities, they'd have a heart attack. So they would love to get rid of the agents, but at this point in time, that's not going to happen in the near future. So you're going to have to hold your nose. and work with me, which is okay. I have the best team in the business. And by the way, just if you purchase an annuity with us, it's concierge first class service. We're not going to plot paperwork down in front of you. You're going to get on a confidential call for 30 minutes. We're not going to share, sell, or keep any of that information. We have to ask legally by the carrier, and we're going to take it from start to finish, whether it's IRA, Roth IRA, or non-IRA. So that's my promotion for my team. That is fantastic. Next question. Hi, Stan. Really enjoy the Medicare podcast with Ellie Saul. If you haven't seen I have a Fun with Annuities podcast that comes out every Tuesday. I have a celebrity guest on, and I choose people that are very good at what they do and specialist. And what he's referring to, I checked my zip code. You've probably all seen that video with JJ Walker or Joe Namath where it says, "Hey, check your zip code," which could be the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But of course, everyone with the zip code qualifies. It's just what that is a very, as Ellie put it, it's a very unique way and kind of underhanded to get your name into an opt-in list so that they can sell those leads to people, and then they're going to pound you into oblivion until you buy something. So just be careful out there. The thoughts on the do-it-yourself companies popping up on Facebook, listen, just be careful. Do your homework. Remember, with annuities or any type of financial products, there's never urgency to buy. The urgency is for you to fully understand. If you can't explain it to a 9-year-old, never buy it. No offense to 9-year-olds. And the best thing I could ever tell you, and I need you to remember this all the time, because you're getting ready to get inundated with ads that sound too good to be true. If it sounds too good to be true and it looks too good to be true and the proposal shows too good to be true, it is every single time. Next question. Assuming my DIA, deferred income annuities, what he's talking about, permits me to change the date income starts, will the new date's income payout be recalculated based on the original rate? Yes. The answer is yes. On that, if my director of operations, who's more detailed about these type of things, if she wants to weigh in, you can weigh in if you want to.
You are correct. It's based on the original rate.
It's based on the original rate. Just remember this, the older you are, the higher the payment. It's eerily similar to Social Security because that is an annuity. So that what you're doing is if you push the payments out to a later date, then there's less projected payments, which means the payments will be higher. So it's just like if you decided to take Social Security at 65 or Social Security at 70, it's going to be higher at 70 because your life expectancy is less. But also remember, too, you have to calculate how long it's going to take to make up for those missed payments. There's no good answers, just bad sales pitches, right? Nod your head. Next question. Why do DIAs with cash refunds often have higher monthly payout than without? That's a really good question, Joel. And this is kind of a moment in time. What he's referring to is if you go to our site and you run SPIAs or DIAs right now, and we'll show you life only and life with cash refund. And life only means when your Learjet hits the mountain, money goes poof. It's what everybody thinks an annuity is. Well, I would never buy an annuity because annuity company keeps the money. That's life only, but that's one of 40 ways to do it. But a very popular way to do it is life with cash refund. And what that means, it's going to pay for the rest of your life. But when you die, or if it's joint, when the second spouse dies, whatever money's left in the account goes to the list of beneficiaries, meaning that the annuity company never keeps a penny, even though they are on the contractual hook to pay as long as you're breathing. Now, common sense would tell you that life only should be a higher payout than life with cash refund. But right now, there are a couple of carriers that I guess are trying to fill up their tranches for cash refund, and that the cash refund is actually higher than life only, which doesn't happen. It's a moment in time. It's an annuity solar eclipse. But Joel, your instincts were right. It shouldn't be that. It should be the reverse. But right now, there are companies, very good A+ rated companies, that are offering a higher contractual guarantee payout on life with cash refund than life only. So yeah, it happens. That's the reason we quote all carriers. Next question. I'm sorry. What annuities are available for simple IRAs? Well, QLACs are its own category. Let's talk about that quickly. QLACs are, they can be used with qualified accounts. They're a deferred income annuity, but it can only be used in IRAs. But with your simple IRA, most of the time, and you'd have to check with your CPA or whoever's issuing that simple IRA, but most of the time, all annuity types can be placed inside of a simple IRA, just like they can be placed inside of a traditional IRA. Just remember that IRA taxation rules apply, so you're not going to get double tax deferral or things like that. If it's a simple IRA or traditional IRA, when you take money out, whatever money you take out is going to be taxed at ordinary income levels. Go ahead. Next question. How many insurance companies default on MIGA contracts per year? Haven't seen any in a long time, Bob. Is it very rare? Yes, it's very rare. Are there any stats available on the internet? Doubt it. I doubt if there's industry stats on that. There's two that I can remember, and my director of operations can weigh in if she wants to. I'm not going to mention company names because I don't. In 2008, there was a B double plus company that, or B plus company that was absorbed by the state guarantee fund and immediately purchased by a larger company, which is typically what happens. There's a lot of oversight within the industry from the standpoint of just making sure the golden goose isn't gored, right? I mean, these are confidence products. And then I think about 5 years ago, the state of North Carolina State Guarantee Fund absorbed a MIGA company, I think it was a B plus rated company. And the person involved, from what we know, was a multi-billionaire. So I think what they're doing is liquidating his assets and paying everybody back. But those are the two that come up to my mind. And I've been doing this for a long, long time. So yeah, two in the last since 2008 that I know of, that we are aware of, because we're looking at B plus or better from the standpoint of MIGAs. Remember, with MIGAs, we're dating the company. We're not marrying them. For lifetime income, we're marrying the company. We're looking at probably A plus or better in a lot of 98% of the time, unless I tell you otherwise. And then with MIGAs, we're dating them for the duration, whether it's 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 years. So it can be a B plus, B double plus, or A minus company. And the state guarantee funds do function pretty well. They've never really been tested. But most of the time, annuity companies, the bigger ones, come in and buy up hook, line, and sinker those companies that are in distress. But like I said, there's only been two. And it looks, the first one, 2008, everyone was made whole. And then this looks like the last one 5 years ago. It's going to be the same thing. Next question. Stay in the annuity man, you always say interest rates are secondary to the amounts paid on annuity. When I say that, I'm talking about lifetime income products like single premium immediate annuities, deferred income annuities, qualified longevity annuity contracts, income riders. Those are primarily based on your life expectancy. Interest rates do play a secondary role. However, a MIGA, a CD type annuity, that's 100%. They're looking at interest rates, even though the 5 legs of the stool apply, like when I talked about earlier. But that is, they're looking directly at interest rates and the other 4 legs of the stool to price it. It says here, but the recent rate increases are off the charts high. Not sure I agree with that. How they affected payouts? We've seen some payouts kind of go up, but again, it's life expectancy based. And the other thing too, remember this, just as a teachable moment, companies are trying to fill tranches. I need you to think about your portfolio, non-annuity. You have small cap, mid cap, large cap, international as an example. For an annuity company, and they have an immediate annuity portfolio, they have 70-year-olds and 72-year-olds and 75-year-olds and 77-year-olds and 62-year-olds and 66-year-olds. Remember, they know when we're going to die. That's the reason they have the big buildings, for a reason. So they're trying to fill up those tranches, and they will make the guarantees attractive when they need to fill up that tranche. So it just kind of depends on your age. And that's the reason it's so important. And this is why we do it, is we quote all carriers for the highest contractual guarantee, because it changes like a gallon of milk every 7 to 10 days. And some companies are trying to attract your age range at the time you're quoting, and some are not. Okay. Next, Shannon, how does the payout yield get calculated? Not sure what product type you're talking about, but just I think I kind of covered it in the last question. Payout yield, let's talk about it from the standpoint of lifetime income, like an immediate annuity, is life expectancy, and it's a combination of life expectancy and interest rates. So when you get a lifetime income stream from an immediate annuity, it's a combination of return of principal plus interest. We can show you that on the quotes. If you run it non-IRA, non-qualified, it will strip out and show you the interest of that lifetime income payout. And then MIGAs are right now, at the time of this taping, you can peel off interest to fill those gaps. And obviously that's very basic math. That if there's a MIGA that's yielding 4.5%, and you put $100,000 in, that's $4,500 a year you're going to get in interest and never touch the principal. The other thing that I want you to be aware of and be very, very careful of, yes, we are the leaders out here in the direct-to-consumer space. We have some people that are trying to be standing Annuity Man, which is somewhat comical if you think about it. But they put on their sites like SPIA 6.7% yield. That is so misleading, it's almost fraudulent, and they need to be ashamed of themselves. When you see that for a lifetime income stream, like, well, I bought this immediate annuity, it's giving me 7.1. That is a numerical reflection of your life expectancy. That's not yield. Remember, with all lifetime income products, you're getting your money back with interest. And when the account goes to zero, the annuity company is still contractually obligated to pay you for as long as you're breathing. We have thousands of clients that have zero in the account. They're still getting a lifetime income stream. That's the reason I say there's no ROI until you die. Next question. Instead of a MIGA, would Treasury bonds be acceptable? Yeah, sure. Treasuries are great. Go to treasurydirect.gov, treasurydirect.gov for I-bonds, and I think they're yielding 9+%. I mean, the only negative to that is they just don't allow you to put a bunch of money in there. But I have a series of videos on my YouTube site called Shooting It Straight with Stan. You can go to my site at theannuityman.com and look at them as well. And I did a recent one called I-bond No Brainer. And no, I don't sell I-bonds. I don't get paid on I-bonds, but I like I-bonds. And treasuries, listen, treasuries, if you talk about safe money, that's the safest money on the planet. And now don't go down the political rabbit hole with me on this, please. But the reason it's the safest money on the planet is our beloved government can tax and or confiscate our money, however you want to frame that, to back up the guarantee. So treasuries, that's the safest money on the planet. So if you like treasuries, go for it. Yeah. I'm considering a MIGA. The Fed is expected to raise interest rates again. Would it be wise to wait? I've covered this again, but let me do it again quickly. Interest rates, the Fed, what Mr. Powell is doing is about 15 to 20% of the pricing of a MIGA. But with that being said, nobody in the world knows what rates are going to do and how rates will affect MIGAs. You might have some companies break out. You might have some that don't. I'm going to encourage you not to time it because no one can. And if I can't, I've been doing this for 3 decades, then no one can because I'm Stan the Annuity Man. So if I'm saying don't, then don't. But if your gut feeling instinct tells you to wait, then wait. As I always say, there's never the urgency to buy an annuity. The urgency is for you to feel comfortable with what you're buying, know the limitations, benefits of it, and then go from there. So if your gut instinct's telling you to wait, then wait. Wendy, compare some MIGAs brokered CDs. Brokered CDs, there's 2 types of CDs. There's bank CDs and brokered CDs. Brokered CDs mean that you go to Merrill Lynch or Morgan Stanley, my previous employer, Morgan Stanley, and they have CDs that are backed up by SIPC insurance, which is good. It's 6 of one, half dozen the other. It's the same product except for the fact that in a non-IRA account, non-qualified, non-IRA, like a checking account, the MIGAs interest will grow tax deferred. Whereas with CDs, you have to pay taxes on the interest. It does not make MIGAs better than CDs. Let's get that very straight. I think that if you won the game, I did a video recently called If You've Won the Game, Why Are You Still Playing? Meaning that if you have enough money, you can just peel off the interest and never touch the principal. And the way to do that is a combination of MIGAs, brokered CDs, and bank CDs. Okay. Ellie Saul, doing some self-promotion here. Ellie, shame on you. Is there any, she's the one that was on my podcast with, for Medicare. I thought I gave her enough promotion, but I guess not. Here we go. Is there any truth to people saying the best time for an index annuity, FIA, since starting points are low, or is this chicken dinner hype? Yes. What she's referring to is this is the time to buy an indexed annuity because we're at market lows. First of all, no one knows if we're at market lows, but what's really happening out there, which is heinous and horrific, misleading, fraudulent, and should be a misdemeanor, is when an agent says to you, you've lost all this money in the market, but this annuity, this index annuity offers an upfront bonus and we can get it all back. That person should lose their license immediately, period. End of story, my opinion, because most of the time, either that bonus is going to the income account, which is funny money. It's a phantom account that can only be used for income, or it's vested. Just remember, First of all, I call upfront bonuses candy for the stupid, because if you think there's a philanthropist at an annuity company, CEO running the annuity company and saying, you know what, I'm going to give money away. There's 100 pennies in the dollar. Remember that. Upfront bonuses don't mean a thing to us. When we quote income riders, for example, we're quoting ones with upfront bonuses and without upfront bonuses. Agents that lead a sales pitch with upfront bonuses are looking for stupid people and non-sophisticated people or high IQ people that think they're smarter than everyone else. Please don't fall for that. I mean, upfront bonus is part of the overall contractual guarantee, nothing special at all. And if we're looking at contractual guarantees, we're looking at both for, like, say, income riders attached to index annuities. We're looking for upfront bonuses and non-upfront bonuses, all of them. Hey, spoiler alert, typically when we run these quotes, the ones with the bonuses are not the highest contractual guarantee. They have to take something away from the policy if they're giving you the bonus. Here's the other thing I need you to realize. If anyone, and I need you to just lean in, if anyone says that they have an index annuity that adjusts for inflation, increases your income with inflation, please don't be the sucker at the table. Annuity companies don't give anything away. When you want your income to increase, typically the annuity company drastically lowers the initial payment, say around 30%, to make up for that increase. And if you run the math numbers, you'll never make up for it. I know in a perfect world that you want income to increase like your Social Security. Just stop chasing it, because someone's going to sell it to you and someone's going to tell you they have it, and they do not have it. Now, one more thing about inflation. I was talking to my director of operations about this before we even got on the air. If you have enough money, if you have $500,000, $700,000, $1 million or whatever, and you talk to me about solving for inflation and you're worried about inflation, I'm going to go off professionally. There are over 65% of adults have less than $10,000 to their name. Inflation's hitting them hard. If you have $1 million and you're worried about inflation, get over yourself. Get over yourself. I came from poor North Carolina, rural America, growing up on a farm. Listen, I've been without. I've been there. But when my wife comes back and says, have you seen gas prices or egg prices or bread prices? I'm like, buy the damn gas, eggs, and bread. Stop complaining. We're blessed. We've made it. We've worked hard. But for all you people out there that have millions of dollars and worried about inflation and trying to solve for it and staying up at night and worrying about it, turn off cable television, please. Just turn it off. Stop watching CNBC. Stop watching Fox Business. Stop. Just stop. You're there. It's not going to affect you, your lifestyle. You're going to be fine. All right, off my soapbox. Good. And I cursed. My apologies. What do you, if you already have purchased variable annuity, what's your advice? We'll look at that. I have nothing against variable annuities. We just don't sell anything that has the potential to go down in value. And also, too, my opinion only, that if you want to buy mutual funds, go buy mutual funds. You don't have to pay an average of 3% annual fees for the life of the policy to do that. But if you've bought a variable annuity and an income rider was attached, then 99% of the time you're going to have to stay in that variable annuity to get the value out of the policy, because the income rider is a phantom account that can only be used for lifetime income calculations. But variable annuities, nothing wrong with that. I mean, there are some good no-load variable annuities out there. No load meaning no fees and no commissions and 100% liquidity, so that you can get tax-deferred growth using mutual funds. And by the way, that's when they were 1954, 1955 argument on whenever that was, when TIA came out with variable annuities. That's the reason they came out, was for tax-deferred growth. So nothing wrong with them. Go ahead. The spread between CD rates and Miga rates is shrinking. It may shrink more at the Fed. Should I buy a Miga instead of a CD in this environment? Not a good answer to that. Just bad sales pitches, right? I don't know. Good question. I think CDs, the way that I tell people to look at CDs and Migas is typically the 3-year Miga, 3-year, 4-year, 5-year Miga is higher than the 3-year, 4-year, 5-year CD. But the 1-year, 2-year CD is pretty darn competitive. So if you're putting together a ladder, why not do a combination of the two? Also, too, you might want to look at, if it's in a non-IRA setting, Migas do allow tax-deferred growth of that interest rate. That doesn't make them better than CDs. But, CDs, people say, well, which one's better? Well, CDs are safer. They're backed by FDIC. F stands for federal, S F stands for we're going to frickin' come get the money to pay these people back, whether it's taxation or whatever they do to get the money. But the point is, CDs are safer. Yes, MIGAs have a state guarantee fund that never been tested. But when you buy MIGAs, you're buying the claims paying ability of that carrier, and we're dating them. We're buying them for the duration. So I'm looking at the claims paying ability for that duration. But listen to your gut instinct. If you feel more comfortable with CDs, then do it. I know the annuity gods are looking down upon me and wanting to rip the blue hat off my head. But as my grandfather told me, and you've heard me say this before, if you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. That is the truth. Yes, we want you as a client, but you're rational and smart. That's why you're on this recording and this live event. And I'm going to shoot it straight. I'm not going to be your friend, but you're going to get the best advice ever. And that advice might be buy a CD. Okay. You mentioned offer concierge service, which is great. But what happens when I die? Would you stop, Mark, please? I'm not predicting anything. When my Learjet hits the mountain, I don't have a Learjet. I'm going to be around for a while. I'm 58. I know you're saying, Stan, there's no way. You look vibrant. You look 40. You're right. But the problem with this camera that we just got, the new one, it shows the wrinkles, right? We are the biggest. We are the biggest and the baddest out here, as they say on the street. But and I'm proud of that because it didn't start like that. It was just me and my wife, and it grew, and now we have multiple offices and great employees. But there is as all good business plans have, a continuation plan in case something happens to me. Obviously, there's a lot of content, books, and videos and podcasts in place to educate people ongoing from a evergreen standpoint. Evergreen meaning it's going to be on the internet forever. And also, there's some really good. I've hired some really good consultants to put in the last few years, put some things in place so that if I pass away, it's going to continue, and the concierge service is going to continue, and you're going to have probably smarter people on the phone with you than me. But I will say this, that I do have a lot of life insurance on me. A lot. Now, if I show up like randomly dead and you see my daughters drive speeding down the highway in dual Lamborghinis, you might want to say, wait a minute, that looks fishy. No, I couldn't say. They're 25 and 23. But I hope to be around. There's no plans. We're just taking it a day at a time. And what I would encourage you to do too, and COVID did this to me, it kind of woke me up. I've had COVID 3 times. Fortunately, it wasn't as severe as most, and God bless those people. But it woke me up to, hey, let's live for the day. There's no U-Hauls behind hearses. Stop obsessing about all this stuff. And that led to a couple of the things like it's okay to miss out video. And if you've won the game, why are you still playing video? We've been told our whole lives, you got to go to college, got to buy a house, gotta. You got to be in the markets, right? Do you really? Personally, I'm not in the markets. I can live off the interest from MIGAs all day long. Maybe you can too. Or maybe it's a combination of immediate annuities and peeling off interest from MIGAs and CDs. But my question to you is why, unless you really like it, and that's okay, the ups and downs of the markets and trying to figure it out and gambling on it's gambling. It's calculated gambling. But do you really need to do that? Think about that for a second. Chapter 2 of your life is chapter 2 of your life worrying about market gyrations. It's not going to be chapter 2 of my life. I can tell you that. I'm going to have guaranteed income. I'm going to peel off interest, and I'm going to know exactly what I'm going to get. And I don't really care if I miss the next Tesla or if I miss the next crypto or if I miss the next Apple. I don't care, because I always say this, and maybe you disagree or agree, but I've been there. I worked at World Trade 2 for Morgan Stanley. I worked for UBS. I managed a lot of money in my life. Being in the markets is, think about this. You'll giggle when I say it. Being in the markets is like surfing beside a cruise ship. Sometimes you're going to catch a wave, but a lot of times you're going to get sucked under the boat. And in these markets with institutions trading 24/7, 365, and then they let us peons in 9:30 to 4, please explain to me how that's fair. I don't know. That's just my Southernism. So next question. Can you cash in your IRA annuity or Roth annuity? Well, first of all, let's just talk about, when you say IRA annuity, remember there's many types of annuities. There's not something called an IRA annuity. You can't call me up and say, Stan, I want to buy an IRA annuity. My next question will be, what type are you talking about? Or Roth annuity. I don't know what you're talking about. If you're talking about Miga, so I don't want people to think that those products exist. They don't. It's an annuity inside of an IRA, or if it's an annuity inside of a Roth. Um, if let's just go with this example though. If you have a Miga inside of an IRA and it reaches the duration and you want to transfer it to another Miga, then it's going to be a non-taxable event, IRA to IRA transfer to that new Miga. So it's not going to trigger any taxes. I want to be very, very clear on that. So it's going IRA to IRA. Roth, there's no tax. You've already paid taxes on that. Soapbox again, Roth. I'm getting a lot of calls on Roth. There are a lot of agents out there that are promoting Roth conversions. Now, I'm sure I'm wrong about this, but I just want you to think. Remember, when you're talking to me, you're talking to someone who's been doing this for 3+ decades. I've been there, done that, seen that, been to the rodeo. Okay. I want you to remember that at one point in time, Social Security was a tax-free income stream, and they changed that. Roth IRAs, I'm not saying they're going to change it, but here's all I want you to think about if someone's pushing you to do a Roth conversion. And I'm probably wrong, but I want you to think about it. Do you trust the politicians in DC to not change the rules? That's the first question. And secondly, do you really know what the income tax rates are going to be down the road? The answer to the second one is you don't know. And the advisor advising the Roth conversion does not know. And they don't know if these politicians are going to change the rules. Let me give you an example. Would it surprise you if they came out, the politicians came and go, you know what, Roth IRAs, great, super, you paid your taxes up front. However, we're going to change the rules. It's still going to be tax-free, but you can only use it for solar panels, healthcare, education, and medical stuff. I mean, would that surprise you? It wouldn't surprise me, because they would put that under the category of, well, that's fair. That's fair. And the reason that politicians, by the way, are looking at Roth IRAs is because I believe it's Peter Thiel. He's one of the billionaires. He has a $5 billion Roth IRA. Now, he invested in stuff that me and you can't invest, put it in his Roth, and it grew. But he did it by the rules. And what now the politicians say, that's not fair. It's not fair for him to have a $5 billion Roth IRA, of which all the proceeds will be tax-free, meaning that they want to change the rules. They politicians, both parties, scare me. So just be careful out there. If someone's pushing you to pay taxes up front, please. Next question. Stan, how can I check my balance on several Migas I own? And I'm gonna probably let our director of operations weigh in on this as well after I answer it. Typically, most of these Miga carriers have online access to your account. So remember, the money is not held at us, never touches our hands. It's at the Miga company. So if you buy it with an IRA, it's going to go from your IRA example at Vanguard to an IRA at XYZ Annuity Company. So you're going to have access to that. You're going to get an annual hard copy statement. You're going to get a hard copy policy in the mail. Leah, can you weigh in any more on that? Because you deal directly with this.
Yeah. I was going to say, Neri, if you can email our service team at client.service@theannuityman.com and just let us know that you're interested in getting set up on the websites for the insurance companies or what you're looking for, we will touch base with you and take care of that for you.
Hey, by the way, if you schedule a call with me, this is the way it goes. Seriously. I mean, I wish I was a whiz-bang closer, but I don't. We just provide information, and I answer questions, and we talk like this, just so we're having a conversation. So I'm not a hammer looking for a nail, if you know what I mean. Next question. Wendy, I'm just interested in returns, but would like something to balance my IRA funds that I'm okay with, 70-30 stocks, blah, blah, blah. I'm assuming Migas will be good for me. This is a loaded question, and I'm glad you asked it, Wendy, but if you asked it to anybody, most agents, they're going to say, well, you need to buy an index annuity because you get market upside with no downside and you get an upfront bonus. Just be very, very careful with that. Remember, nothing wrong with index annuities. We love them. We sell more than most people, but we tell people they're CD products and expect a 2 to 4% return. Yes, lean in, please. 2 to 4%. I know that's not what you see on the internet. You see like get 11%, you get 13%. And the proposals you see, that's garbage. But I think right now, with current Miga rates, they're going to outperform the majority of index annuities because the interest rate is guaranteed. Give you an example with index annuities, and the annuity companies can change the rules on the cap spreads and participation rates and how the gains are calculated. And that's just the way it is. That's just the rules. If you look at the specimen policy, it is what it is. But some years with index annuities, you're going to get 1, and then 1 year you're going to get 6, and 1 year you're going to get 0, 1 year you're going to get 4, and 1 year you're going to get 7, 1 year you're going to get 5, and then the next year you're going to get 0. All of that added up does not beat a Miga. If a Miga is getting you 4.5%, say on a 5 year at the time of this taping, I know this is probably going to date this, but you're down the road. It's not going to beat that. I'm just telling you, it's not. I know that the agents are going to say Stan's wrong. Well, then have them sign a piece of paper and say, well, if Stan's right, then you have to pay me the difference. I'm right. You're better off, in my opinion, buying a Miga because this guarantee, the interest is guaranteed. Plus, you can buy short-term paper, 3-year, 4-year, 5-year. Most index annuities out there are 7 or 10-year surrender charges. So if you're buying a 10-year surrender charge index annuity with a 1-year call option, you're really buying a 1-year guarantee with a 10-year surrender charge. Please tell me how that makes sense. I would rather you keep the maturity shorter. The other reason that everyone's going to try to sell you an index annuity, the built-in commissions are huge compared to Migas. And that's the reason they always lead hammer finding the nail. You could come to them and say, I have a sore throat and a sprained ankle. And they'd be like, you know what? I think you need an index annuity. So be careful out there. All right, next question. I've listened to your podcast. Thank you. Every Tuesday, Fun with Annuities, all major platforms. Not gotten the books in the mail yet. We got back ordered big time on those. And like I said, we just did the last run. So those should be going out next week. If you don't have them, boy, you better sign up because never again. We should save some. Leah, let's save some for the Smithsonian because I'm assuming they're going to call. But I've searched the web. Be careful. Still do not understand Miga or income rider. Yeah, let's do it. I'm a 5-year-old. Okay, great. A Miga, and I don't want you to make it any more difficult than this. It's like a CD, okay? You give money to the life insurance company that issues the Miga. Life insurance companies issue annuities, they issue Migas, and that life insurance company is going to guarantee a specific annual interest rate for a specific period of time. A CD is you give money to the bank or brokerage firm. They guarantee a specific interest rate annually for a specific period of time. Migas, CDs, Migas, apples to apples. Income riders, different thing. That is an attachment at the time of application. An income rider is not a standalone thing you can buy. You can't call me and say, I just want to buy the income rider. Can't. It's got to be attached to either, and most of the time, either an index annuity or variable annuity. And once again, we don't sell variable annuities, so index annuities. But when we attach the income rider to the index annuity, we do not look at the index annuity or care about it. It's nothing more than an efficient and cost-effective delivery system to deliver that income guarantee. Now, where income riders fit, I ask people 2 questions. What do you want the money to contractually do? When do you want those contractual guarantees to start? If the first answer is income and the second answer is down the road, I need to start 5 years, 7 years, then we're going to quote deferred income annuities and income riders, which are the 2 ways to do this. And QLACs fall under deferred income annuity category. And then we're going to show you the highest contractual guarantee of the income rider. So an income rider is an attachment for lifetime income that starts in the future. If you say, Stan, I want income to start in 7 years for me and the wife, and I want to know to the penny what it's going to be, that's an income rider. Okay? When we are not needing to draw money from our annuity, isn't the fixed index a better choice than the Miga? If you ask agents that, they'll tell you yes. If you ask me that, I'll say maybe. Remember, index annuities do not guarantee any interest rate growth. Migas contractually guarantee a specific annual percentage. Do not ever base your buying decision on an index annuity on a back-tested proposal. In other words, if the person says to you, if you'd have owned it 10 years ago, you'd have made this. Or if you take the upfront bonus plus the back-tested number, you'd have made this. Then you're stupid and you're the sucker at the table and you get what you deserve. Okay? Indexed annuities typically 2 to 4%, 5 on the upside, hopefully. Yes, there are years that could be higher than that, but remember what I said earlier in the earlier question. There'll be years you get 0, years you get 1, years you get 2, and it's all going to blend out to that 2 to 4, maybe 5% range. If you can get a Miga and get 4.5 or 4.6 or 4.7, whatever they are at the time, contractually, and you can do shorter term, meaning 3-year, 4-year, 5-year, instead of locking it in for 10-year, to me, the Miga choice is more attractive and a contractual no-brainer. Not for the agent. The agent's going to get paid much, 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 much less than they would if they sold an index annuity. That's the reason they all lead with index annuities, which is unfortunate. Next. Do Migas compound interest the same as CDs? The answer is yes. And I'd say 95% of Migas have compounding interest. There are some outliers that have simple interest. We'll tell you that. We'll point those out to you. But the vast majority, compound interest like CDs. I have a $100,000 AIG fixed index annuity inside of an IRA. Just put that in there, and plan to transfer $10,000 each year to my traditional and convert it to a Roth. I might be wrong about this. I've talked about this before. I'm just one of those people out there. And most of the old heads out here like me that's been doing it for a long, long time, we just don't believe in the Roth conversions. We don't believe you can do it though. And I'm probably wrong, and it's probably going to work out perfectly for you, but I wouldn't advise that. I wouldn't advise that at all. And whoever's advising that, I just disagree factually. So there you go. Mark, hey, Stan, if we could contract a Miga for 5 years and things change and we move up retirement in 2 years from now and want to convert the Miga to a fixed annuity, I'm assuming you're thinking immediate annuity, does the accrued interest reduced? I'm gonna weigh in, and I'm gonna let Leah do this as well because I'm not sure I totally understand. I did a very popular video called Miga to SPIA, and it's upset the industry because it's right and it's good. Meaning that you buy a multi-year guarantee annuity, you get the guaranteed interest rate, and then at the end of the term, we can then transfer it tax deferred. It's not going to trigger any taxes to the highest paying immediate annuity, which we go shop for. That's another way to do income later, as opposed to doing an income rider that has an annual fee for the life of the policy. So I'm assuming that's what you mean. Leah, can you weigh in and see if you read anything different from that than I did?
No, I think that's how you're understanding it. I would like to add that every Miga contract is a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
All annuities, no matter the type, are designed to are built in annuitization. So they're going to have wording in the contract that guarantees lifetime income. Some Migas will let you do that without penalty after the first year.
Yes.
Some you have to wait until the end of the term. It's going to vary by the contract.
I wish it was all even though these are commodity products, not all of the internal rules are uniform, if that makes sense. So we're making our decision on the commoditization of the guarantees, but internally there might be some different rules. Mark, what I tell you to do, and this is not a sales pitch, is just schedule a call with me. Let's go over it. Explain what you're trying to do. And maybe a better solution is to ladder different maturities. Say do a 2-year, 3-year, 5-year, so that you have money coming due in case you need to annuitize it, etc. Next question. Inflation, oh my gosh, when considering fuel groceries is much higher. Of course it is. To what degree are annuities safe hedge? I'm going to get back on my soapbox because you obviously didn't hear the last time I said this. If anybody tells you that their annuity type solves for inflation or addresses inflation, it's just a bad sales pitch, period. End of story. Can it offset it? Yeah, it can offset it. I guess Migas could be say, well, yeah, if inflation's at 9 and you're getting 4.5, it's offsetting it. But once again, and I'm going to ask you people out there in the audience to just be honest with yourself. I want you to think of your total investable assets, your net worth. If it's over $500,000, I need you to stop. I need you to stop whining and stop complaining and stop obsessing about inflation. If that makes you mad, so be it. But I'm right. You need to stop. There are some people out there, and I'm not some bleeding heart. Believe me, I'm the biggest capitalist on the planet. But there's people out there that inflation is hurting them. Okay. Remember, 65% of the people don't have $10,000 to their name, and the majority of the people in this country don't have $400 in the checking account to solve for an emergency. If you have multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars, you're going to be okay. And, Janet Yellen said inflation was transitory. Of course, she was wrong, but this will come and this will go. And you will still have hundreds of thousands of dollars. Nod your head. Stop watching cable news. Stop CNBC, Fox. Remember, they have to keep you watching. They're going to either scare you or it's either fear or greed, right? And inflation is fear. Let me ask you a question and answer this honestly to yourself. When you go to the grocery store, yes, the prices are high, but can you buy pretty much anything in there? Sure you can. Most people can on this live event. I need you to come off the inflation thing. You can't solve for it. And if you keep trying and you keep going down that rabbit hole, you're going to buy something from someone that tells you they have it, and you're going to regret it. Next question.
This is the last question we have.
Last question. You better line them up or I'm out of here. Here we go. On annuities that can refund the unused portion to the heirs, that would be, say, life with cash refund or life with installment refund or income riders. Also, whatever's left in the accumulation value goes to the listed beneficiaries 100%. How do carriers amortize the premium to arrive at the unused balance? I have to punt on that one. I don't think they do. Leah?
Whenever an insurance company is calculating the guarantee, it's pretty much linked to the life expectancy. So if someone's 70 and the life expectancy is 86 and you're doing an installment refund,
right,
the guarantee payments are going to be over approximately 16 years.
Just remember,
and that's a good guideline to go by.
Very, very well put. I didn't know that was where he was headed. The other thing I need to add to that is remember when you're buying lifetime income and you have the backstop, what I call a back southern version of, remember Little League, you had the backstop, save the balls from going down the hill. Cash refund and installment refund or period certain, those are another word for it. Those are the backstops that have the guarantees in case you die early in the policy. But just remember with lifetime income, you're saying to the life insurance company, if it's you, I think I'm going to live longer than you think I'm going to live. And if I do, you're on the hook to pay an insurance company. If it's joint, same thing. One of us is going to outlive what you're projecting us to live. So that's the way. That's my answer to that. Any other questions, Pop? Since I laid it on, oh, it did. Yeah. So you guys want me to be still? Oh, that's good. Hi, Stan. What's the best rate? I'm glad this question was asked. Okay. What's the best rate right now for an immediate fixed annuity? So a single premium immediate annuity for $100,000. Okay. Let me tell you how it works. First of all, fixed annuities, single premium immediate annuities are regulated at the state level. So we'd have to run it for your state. We'd have to run it for your specific date of birth, or if joint life, dates of birth. So you can't just say run it 65. No, I need your date of birth. They price life expectancy to the day. And then there's 40 plus ways to structure an immediate annuity. This question here is so broad. It's like saying, what's your favorite restaurant? What kind of restaurant? Or what's your favorite car? What kind of car? What's your favorite shoe? What kind of shoe? What's the best immediate annuity? Okay, what state are you in? What's your date of birth? Is it joint life? Do you want it cash refund? Do you want it installment refund? This is when you schedule a call with me, and then I personally run those quotes for you. But this is a question that is not answerable because I need more specifics in order to quote all carriers for the highest contractual guarantee. And remember, immediate annuity quotes, lifetime income quotes typically change every 7 to 10 days like a gallon of milk. Okay, so I'm glad you asked that, Kieran, but that's the answer. Next question. Is the annuitization offered in Miga competitive? The answer is yes, sometimes, not all the time. If you have a multi-year guarantee annuity and at the end of the duration, you say, I want an immediate annuity, we have to legally have the multi-year guarantee annuity that you're currently with run the annuitization quote that you want. Then we will run the annuitization quote apples to apples with all of the other carriers, and you're going to choose the highest contractual guarantee. So if it is the Miga that you're currently with and they have the best annuitization quote, then you're going to stay there. It's similar to when people call me up and say, I'm getting a pension buyout, Stan. I'm getting $422,000 or $2,732 a month. And I'll say, okay, let's run a comparison quote, and then you're going to choose the highest contractual guarantee. Remember, our whole thing here, yes, we do want you as a client, okay? But we want you to choose the highest contractual guarantee. If that's with us, great. But if it's not with us, meaning the pension the company that's offering the pension, or the Miga company that you're currently at, then great. Now, just to give you some insight, if you're with a Miga company and they have the highest annuitization rate, then that agent is not going to get paid again for transferring the money or for it annuitizing. That's okay. That's okay. All commissions are built into the product. You never see them, but we're gonna, the promise we're gonna make to you. I tell my team this all the time. You got to do three things with me. You got to show up on time. You got to do what you can call on time, by the way. You got to do what you say. If you say you're going to do it, you got to do it. And the third thing, you got to tell the truth. Now, that's it. That's our business model. And when you get us on the phone, that's what we're going to do. We're going to call on time. We're going to do what we say we're going to do, and we're going to tell you the truth. And if the truth is this is a better deal, it is. I'll give you an example. I had a gentleman the other day. He really wanted to be a client. He'd been following us for a long, long time. He was getting a pension offer. I said, well, let's see what it is. We ran and 80% of the time, the pension offer you're getting from your company is going to be higher than what I can get you on the street because the company wants to keep the money, not give you the lump sum. Think about it. So we ran the quote, and the quote that he was getting from his company was $200 a month more. And I said, that's a no-brainer. You're staying where you are. Congratulations. My only comment is, can they back it up? When he told me the company's name, I'm like, oh yeah, they can back it up. You stay right there. All that means is they want you there and they don't want to give you the lump sum, and you take advantage of that. So that's an example of that. Any other questions, Leah? Where are we at? Do you disagree with Roth? Yes, I do. Do you disagree with Roth conversions in general? So why? And let me disclaimer this one more time. I want to make this very clear. This is my opinion. I'm sure I'm wrong, but this is my opinion. And the two reasons that I say this is, number one, Social Security at one point in time was tax-free. Number two, I don't trust politicians not to change the rules. And I guess there's a third one. I don't know what tax rates are going to be in the future. So those are the three things that make me say, I don't think I want to do that. And I have, in my 30-year career, have never, and I'm probably wrong, advised on Roth conversions for those reasons, period. I don't trust listen, I've been around so long. I remember when the Roth IRA was first introduced, okay? And I remember that week, same day, politicians asking, is there a way in the future that they could tax it? I remember that. It left a scar with me. I couldn't believe that that soon they were trying to think of a way to tax it. They're still trying to think of a way to tax it. And in my opinion, Roth IRA holders are a very, very, very small voting block, and everything in our life politically comes down to voting blocks. It would be very easy for politicians to frame you Roth holders as the evil rich and it's not fair, and you know I'm right. If I was a politician, I could sell that all day long. I would get on the stump and I would say this. Listen, there's something unfair going on in this country. There are people that have things called Roth IRAs where they can take the money out tax-free. They never have to pay taxes. Now, yes, they did pay upfront taxes a long time ago, and they're fortunate enough to have all this money to be able to do that. But now they can't. They don't have to pay taxes on all this money. And we have a billionaire named Peter Thiel that has a $5 billion Roth IRA that he's going to be able to take that $5 billion out and do whatever he wants and not pay taxes. Now, everyone in this arena, do you think that's fair? No. Of course, it's not fair. The evil rich are getting away with it once again. Now, you and I both know that's BS. But could it sell to the public? Could it sell politically? Of course it can. Next. Are annuity limits based on joint or individual? Annuity limits, and what they're talking of, what Rushfan 2021-12 is talking about is the annuity industry really doesn't like to see you put more than 50% of your investable assets in annuities. We're talking about households. So if it's husband and wife and you have $1 million in investable assets, and between the both of you, you have $500,000 in annuities, then you're probably at your limit. Next question. At what age should you stop buying immediate annuities? There's no good answers to that one, just bad sales pitches. A lot of older people. I had an 87-year-old the other day, sharp as a tack, and said, "I want to buy a 10-year period certain. I know I'm not going to live 10 years." I said, "You might," but they wanted to leave it as a legacy, meaning 10-year period certain. Someone's going to get paid that income for that 10 years, whether it's them or their listed beneficiaries. So it really depends on the goal of the asset. And that's something that we'll talk about. In a lot of cases, it's not suitable. But in that case, it was a legacy play and it was suitable. And typically, annuity companies will issue immediate annuities if it's suitable and appropriate up to age 90 and some past that. Is that it?
That is it for questions. We do have a couple of carrier-specific product questions.
Yes.
And I would like to encourage you to go to our website, click on book a call.
Look at that phone. Look at that phone.
Scroll down and you can schedule a 30-minute conversation with Stan, and he will discuss the product specifics with you.
Yeah, we don't mention carrier names on this because I would want them to pay me, and they're not going to pay me. They got to pay me an endorsement fee. So, hey, with that, I want to thank every single one of you for joining us. We do this once a month. I really appreciate it. Go to our site, schedule a call, get the books while you can, and I'll see you next time.